Okay, this is I call it a miler. I think it's a knockoff miler, but basically it's like a low port correction bit. This is what I like him in. This is my second choice, I should say. Super short shank. He doesn't need leverage. All right. Now, if you want more brakes, use a chain, and if it's a speed event, then you're going to want to use like a leather strap. Okay, this is what I prefer to ride him in. It's a little B. This is the Pirelli design of a miler cradle system. That's the side. So this string just holds the noseband from slipping. Okay, the way that this works, when I pull here, it takes a hold of his pole, takes a hold of his nose. Like, he knows exactly what I want him to do because of the action of this bit. And if it's too much, then you can go on the bigger rings. With him, I use the smaller rings. This seems to be just the right amount. It doesn't have a lot of stopping power, but what's happening is he needs help at the canter to stay up and travel uphill because he kind of just dives in on his nose. This bit is soft enough that I can kind of hold him up where I want him, where he's comfortable, but it's effective enough that, I mean, you're not going to have a runaway or anything, but this is not something that is going to give you quick stops. This is more, hey, run in and push into the bit so that you can have some forward and win some speed events, basically. And then this would be what I would ride him in on the trail also, just because it's got enough you can get a hold of him, but if you bump him, if he startles and then you startle, it's not going to make him startle again, if that makes sense. So this is what I'm going to ride him in today. No more. There you go. So this is how he usually warms up. Once he's relaxed, his steps will be bigger. I've been doing a lot of changing direction and changing the bend so that he's not overreacting to my leg. And see, I can leg yield him over to the side. I can switch from a leg yield to a turn in that direction very quickly without dropping his shoulder. He used to be really hard to ride because of how horribly he dropped his shoulders, and now I have complete control over him. And he's gonna turn more straight than the way that he was trying or was shown before. So if the barrel's here, I'm gonna go past it and keep him almost bent to the outside. I'd rather he be bent to the outside than over bent to the inside. He's just not athletic enough to bend in half like that. I do a lot of leg yielding, so at the trot, I'll move him over that way. I can move him over the other way. We've been working on our stop. Notice the first thing that he wants to do is get really freaking heavy on my hands. I didn't get in a fight with him, I just let him hit my hands. When you practice this, this was the first one today. When you practice this, he'll bump off of that bit himself. If you get into a fight with him, it gets him stressed. He's only good when he's relaxed, so you gotta kind of keep things slow. Yeah, so when you stop, make sure he hits your hands. Don't let him get on his front end, because that's why his canter was so hard to ride, is because how downhill he travels. So I'm really teaching him to stay up, so that includes all the halt work has to be with his butt down, even if you have to get in his face, since it's a hard thing to fix. We really need to exaggerate and get him up, and then we can, you know, soften everything back up again. So if it gets ugly, in order to keep him on his butt, that's way more important, in my opinion, what I've been working on. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Shorty's canter. Shorty's canter is horrendous. It's horrendous because he's on his front end. I don't know if his hocks need attention. Might be worth flexing him out. We didn't do that. We decided to see how much he could accomplish without doing that. Anyway, so he's super downhill. So when you ask him to canter, he's always going to canter first off like what he's always done, which is charge. So you've got to be sitting back for your canter cue and be ready to catch him, if that makes sense, because you're going to cue him and he's like going to shoot forward like you squeeze a toothpaste tube. Okay, but you got to be there to say don't go down, and then this bit will help him come up. Now this isn't the bit to make him look beautiful like a dressage horse. This is the bit to teach him to use his hind end. Once he gets into it, you'll see once I get cantering around and he gets himself and he's carrying himself, then it looks prettier. And I don't know what he's going to do today. I'm just going from experience. It usually takes me about half a lap to get his canter to feel really rideable. But once it does, oh my God, what a difference. It's much, much, much better. And when it's really rough, I've found that I put more weight in my stirrups, and that kind of keeps me from bouncing around, so that we're not making it harder on him, because it's obviously hard for him to carry himself at the canter. So here we go. We'll see what he does today. I'll get over here to the side so you can see my cue. Okay. So, and I use the kiss to cue. All right, so like my hands are working. There, that's nice. I want to feel like he's cantering on his own and I'm not doing the work. And this is way rideable. But see, I have to kind of stay back and get in his face a little bit. But from this canter, if you decide to keep going with the speed sports, this is the canter he has to have. Because at this canter, I can put my leg on. Nice little show-off blumber. Anyway, but you can see, if I'd have had my leg on, I needed both legs. I was just using my outside leg to make that turn. That's why he broke out of the canter. But you can see this is hard for him. I mean, to keep that canter going on that small of a circle, so if you go into barrels or something, he needs that leg. I do think he's athletic enough to do it, but you're gonna have to get this canter quality fixed. And since you're not going for the horse shows anyway, don't worry about where his head's at, just get that feel, because he can do anything from that feel. But if he's on his front end, it's hopeless. Be real careful when you go to slow down. His stops really kind of suck, and the reason they suck is because he'll just prompt. And then it hurts, and then we jam, and then he knows that it jams, and then it hurts his back when he jams because we slide. So anyway, there's all this anxiety about stopping with his head down and his back relaxed. Here, I'll give you an example. I'll walk right here and stop again. So we're walking on a loose rein. I say, whoa. That one wasn't as bad. He just kind of stopped that left front foot from moving, and it rocked me a little bit, but when you go and do it at the trot, and I'll trot around and come stop again and show you. Okay, so here we are trotting. Whoa, 1, 2, ugh. That last step really sucks because he just kind of locks up and stops moving. When you try it from the canter, it's really bad. Should I show her? Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'll come canter around on the right lead. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna come around. I'm gonna say whoa, whoa, whoa. Ugh. Okay, that hurts. That hurts really bad. And he's doing it because when he knows that we want to slow down, he starts bracing, whether it's from somebody pulling on his mouth or in protecting his back or his hocks hurt, I don't know. But I would probably, if he was mine, I'd get those looked at if you're going to go do speed. If not, whatever. That's kind of him in a nutshell. We've made really a lot of progress mentally. However, he thinks he's a stud. He will mount your mares. He will pace the fence and lose weight like a stud. I had him looking like $1 million show horse, and then one of the mares went in heat next to him, and he spent all night pacing and like dropped 50 pounds. So, I mean, he's still an emotional wreck, but he doesn't sit back anymore. You could tie him to your, well, you could always tie him to the trailer, but he doesn't sit back on the rail. We drive quads behind him on purpose. He follows the quad. We've hauled him to chutes, which, I mean, he was pretty good at the chutes, but the whole thing where he acted like a spoiled pony and would try and take you out gates, or if he didn't want to go forward, he'd run backwards, that all is gone. Overall, he's way better mentally than he's ever been, but somebody really roughed this guy up, or he's just kind of unbalanced, but he's a little bit of a nervous guy. He'll still jump, like you'll go from dead quiet, he'll jump. He's never bucked, he's never reared, he's never run off, and we've pushed him real hard, so he sure means well. If he panics, he goes backwards. I won't say runs backwards, but he moves backwards if he's scared. But I think he's way better than he was. And I ride him bareback on the trails now. He still gets a little jiggy on the way home, but we've been working on it. It's improved a lot. You see how he slows himself down going down the hill just by propping his front end? That's kind of that hawk thing again. Watch him go down the hill. All on that front end. He didn't really get under himself at all. He's a good boy. Come on, Short. Oh, it's so hard, Mom.